What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having an amazing week. As always, you can follow me on Instagram if you would like at Dream Rare. You can check out the shirts and the apparel that I have online. It's at dreamrare.com. So the Instagram is Dream Rare. My website with the t-shirts is dreamrare.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. Stay tuned for about 20 more seconds, and I'm going to talk about the recent news, which if a lot of people watch other news sources, it's no surprise. We've known they were going to do this for months, but a lot of politicians are starting to move in the direction to try to impeach the president or make a move saying he's mentally unfit, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit under the weather today. I have some sort of flu or possibly worse. I don't know. My throat, my tonsils hurt really bad, but I don't have an off button, but I got some orange juice with some peach mango, so I'm going to drink that. Send me some prayers and thoughts, but clearly it's not that terrible because I'm inspired to make this podcast. I'm sorry, live stream, not podcast. Let's wait 10 more seconds. And I couldn't help myself. I took a nap. Like I said, I'm not feeling well. I look at my phone and I see all these, for lack of a better term, sometimes I call them rat-faced politicians because they just, they got little rat faces and they're basically the biggest hypocrites on the planet. All they know how to do is cheat, lie, steal, take your money, use the media to manipulate your mind. And then anytime the truth comes out, they try to fight it in any sort of reality. And it's so annoying to me because when it comes to President Donald Trump, I understand why people don't like him. I get it. Trust me. He's a very blunt, he's a very arrogant, sometimes he's incredibly unthoughtful and just direct and mean and, the type of guy that just fights. He never, just calms down. I understand. That's why a lot of people watch and listen to me that might not like the president. I get it because I'm not just a mean person. Like, if you don't agree with me, you must be a blah, blah, blah. That's not how I feel. I understand why people don't like the president. I get it. Clearly, I understand why people do like the president, as do I, because I see all of the positive effects that he's having that the media never talks about. But what I don't understand is these two-faced, rat-faced politicians. I don't know if it's because they're criminals and they're afraid of going to jail now that you have the FBI investigation opened on the Clintons. It's like a Santa Claus list of like, where should we start? If it's an actual investigation instead of a cover-up investigation like Comey did where they had the wording changed and those same people who are changing the wording to like, oh, we don't know what happened. They're the same ones in the Russia Council. If it's a real investigation, it's going to be like a Santa Claus list of all the kids. I mean, pick one of 10,000 crimes that she's committed. It'd be very interesting to see that. But maybe that's why these people want President Trump out so bad. Maybe they're really, I have a lot of empathy for them. I have a lot of sorrow for them if they really are just delusional hypocrites because I just don't understand. I get why you would not like Trump. I get why you'd be upset. Maybe they're afraid that they can't beat him in a real election in 2020. I mean, if President Trump is really this terrible person that they say is, we know he's not, but even if he is, like me personally, I would be like, you know what, this guy's a little crazy. Like, I bet I could beat him in an election. But these losers, they can't beat him in an election. They cheated and rigged this entire election. This is the funniest part to me. It's not like they've been saying this forever. It's like they lie, they lose, they lie, they lose, they change strategies, they lose, they lie, they lose. Oh my God, he's mentally unfit. Oh my God, we gotta get him out of office. He's mentally unfit. No, you guys are the mentally unfit. Intelligence, lacking intelligence. Every aspect of President Trump's life, he's better than all these politicians. I say that to people all the time. I always say, to be as fair as I possibly can, I say, I understand why you wouldn't like President Trump. I get it. But what a lot of the I hate President Trump people don't understand, or maybe they do and they just ignore it to make themselves feel good, or maybe they don't believe it. It's up to everybody's own interpretation and perspective. I don't care. But what I don't understand is why people don't get that the reason President Trump won is because politicians are that bad. And they don't know how to learn. They don't know how to grow. They don't know how to evolve. All of these people pointing the finger at President Trump saying, he's mentally unfit. They're worse at every aspect of politics. They're worse than President Trump at every aspect of business. They're clearly not as funny as President Trump. Me being a digital strategist and a social media marketing expert, not that I'm the all be all end all, but I've worked at major agencies. I've worked, in 8+ years, had incredible success over the last year, 200 million video views between my two channels, reached over 1 billion people. That's, 1/8 of the planet. I'm sure there were repeat users and it wasn't literally 1/8 of the planet, but just saying, I know when it comes to digital marketing, President Trump is a Twitter genius. He is a marketing genius. He understands people. He understands how to use social media. And none of these two-faced, gremlin, rat-faced, whatever they are, I'll call them garden gnome politicians, they're just jealous or hateful or negative, or they don't know how to learn and listen and figure out how to interpret it to their lives. So all they know how to do is hate, 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 hate. They should really be sitting in their office instead of tweeting, whoa, we have a mentally unfit president, we need to get him out of office. They should shut their mouths. They should, watch a President Donald Trump tutorial or maybe an Anomaly live stream and learn something, because they have so much to learn. They have so much to learn about digital marketing, about Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. They don't know how to use it. So then they hate on the president for being better than them. I mean, he gets it. He gets how to be blunt. He even said word for word how I feel outside of, even if I hated him and I was like, oh my God, he's the worst person in the world. He said word for word how I felt for years. I don't even like social media. It's not like I'm like desperate for attention or desperate for friends that aren't really my friends and desperate to post a bunch of selfies all the time. I use it because the media is so fake that it's the only way to get the truth out there. I don't make these videos because I want to be the next Sean Hannity or Rachel Maddow or Ron Maddow, whatever his name is. But I do it because they're so incompetent and they're so dishonest. If you don't get the right narrative out there, they're eventually going to swallow you up in their fake little gremlin narrative. So it's really, really frustrating to see these same people that rigged the whole election, that have been blasting propaganda onto the American people for the last 15 to 50 years, who knows how long these gremlins have been at it, the same people that were in bed with Hillary Clinton, that were attacking, character assassinating President Trump and character assassinating Bernie Sanders and character assassinating the Paul family, these same people that don't understand middle America, that only use the urban community when it's a statistic that goes in their direction, like, oh, well, we're better for the Muslims. Like, they don't care. They think everybody's these little boxes, and they're like, I'm better than you, and I'm going to help you. Like, that's their whole mentality. These people, they just don't get it, and they lied about Russia for a whole year. Where is the Russia conspiracy? Minus the bombshell Bannon. Ooh, Bannon said something in a book from an author that no one's ever heard of a week ago. Oh, wow. It's like they ran out of Russia stuff. They're like, Russia played Pokemon Go, and they named Pokemon Go after famous activists, so like they hacked the election. It's like, you guys are mentally unfit. CNN, mentally unfit. Whoever owns Huffington Post and allows the disgraceful racist writers that they employ, you're mentally unfit. Every politician that went against President Trump and couldn't beat him, you seem very mentally unfit to me. These psychopath celebrities and, oh my God, Russia hacked the election. I'm sitting here very calm. I'm like, how did Russia hack the election? In what way did Russia hack the election? Oh, well, they changed the votes. And then you find out that never happened. So that narrative goes away because Russia never hacked the election. They never changed the votes. The only ones that hacked the election was Homeland Security. They tried to hack into one of the states and got blocked. So if you want to be factually accurate, Russia never hacked the election. It was Homeland Security who attempted to do something. Who knows? But, something tells me it wasn't to check on the votes and make sure they were accurate. And then that narrative failed. So they're like, Russia hacked the Podesta emails, which then hacked the election. But even though those emails, among all the bombshells that the media just won't talk about, and I'm not going to talk about right now, the email showed that Hillary Clinton rigged the election. So Russia hacked the election by showing us that Hillary Clinton rigged the whole election. That's your logic. And then that narrative fails because a huge group of ex-CIA and NSA members came out and did their own private investigation and found out Russia never hacked the DNC emails. That came from an internal leak, according to their study. So that narrative fails. And then they say Russia hacked the Vermont. Keep in mind, these same people that are this whole storyline that I'm telling you, these same people are trying to say that someone else is mentally unfit. This sounds like a schizophrenic, delusional, mentally unfit human being who shouldn't be in the media, who shouldn't be in politics, yet they're the ones pointing the finger. Oh, the irony. The biggest hypocrites are always the ones pointing the finger. Meanwhile, you have people like me telling people, just, relax, have a good time, make yourself, change yourself to change the world, be a good person. That's not what they want to hear because they're too busy pointing the finger all the time. Then they moved on to, the media hacked the election with Russian. We're like, what? How? And they put out this whole thing and they're like, well, Russian firms, like people in Russia were running Facebook ads. It's like, really? Because people in every country runs ads. Al Jazeera is based from Qatar. They own a whole news organization. You have the Saudis own huge stakes in Twitter and Fox News and whatnot. So there's so much foreign influence in our news already. Plus the internet's a place where every country speaks their mind. I mean, that's what the internet is. So they do this whole investigation on how Russia hacked the Facebook, and they found out that most of the Russian Facebook ads, they made a page called Blacktivist, a black activist Facebook page that had more likes than Black Lives Matter, and they were organizing anti-Trump events. And then there's one Bill O'Reilly ad that they spent $1 on, and they're like, whoa, $1 in marketing. Like, how stupid are these people? And these are the same people saying that Russia hacked the election. So the Russia hacked the election after a year. I've said since October of 2016, it's pathetic that I could see their pathetic, rat-faced strategies unveiling themselves before the election was even over. I was making jokes about their Russia McCarthyism scare. History repeats itself. It's like, what's next? Are they going to round up all the Japanese people because they can't figure out that Trump is a better person than them? I mean, these people are disgusting, mentally unfit people themselves. So a year after I call it the biggest propaganda unleashed on the American people in my lifetime. I mean, they've basically lied about everything, all the wars, pretty much every aspect of it. I've known about what I'm talking about now. They're trying to use the 25th Amendment, which says if the president's mentally unfit or he has problems, they can, vote on it, and then the vice president votes on it. I've known about this for months because I watch actual news sources that tell the truth, and I've known things for 10 years that came out this year, and people are like, can you believe that the United States government was going to blow up a boatload of Cubans and, to stage a false flag? It's like, of course, I've known that for 10 years that they were doing that stuff, and they still do that type of stuff. Because if you ask a question like any semi-intelligent person, you're like, hey, do you think this could happen? And everyone screams at you, what are you, conspiracy theorists? What the heck? Then it's a cover-up, because if you can't even answer my question without screaming at me that there's no way that it can happen when it's something that's easy to pull off, of course. Anyway, the Russia propaganda, oh my God, Trump colluded with Russia. Even though all the evidence, even there's articles by The Intercept that say that Hillary Clinton got $5 to $20 million from Saudi Arabian donors for her campaign. So literally Saudi Arabia was involved in Hillary's campaign. She's colluding with the FBI, with the CIA, with deep state intelligence communities. The whole media is rigged against her. The whole media was rigged. I agree with them completely. It was rigged for Hillary Clinton. And that's where all the evidence is. A year after they've pushed this, spent billions of dollars, wasted so much money and time trying to say that Trump colluded with the Russians. That was the big way to oust Trump. If Trump was mentally unfit, I would want him out of I don't want somebody mentally unfit in the White House. Trust me, I'm not here to ruin America and be like, oh my God, I love Trump no matter what happens. If he was mentally unfit, I would want him out of his job, 1,000%. If he was working with the Russians, if he was like a Putin Kremlin disinformation agent, I would want him out of the White House. But none of that was true. And now they don't talk about the Russia stuff anymore because it never happened. It doesn't matter how much you hate Trump. It never happened. CNN had to apologize and retract the story. New York Times had to retract one of their biggest stories of the year. whoa, the 18 intelligence community said that Trump, 17 intelligence community said that Trump worked with Russia. First of all, who said that in the intelligence communities? And then you have James Clapper, the head of all the intelligence communities, like, I never said that. New York Times retracted that story. Washington Post retracted multiple stories. There are a bunch of mentally unfit people working for the New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN. So mentally unfit people don't get to tell us that the president's mentally unfit. He's not mentally unfit. He's better than you at everything. He's better than you at Twitter. He's better than you at Facebook. He's better than you at politics. He's better than you at building infrastructures. He's better than you at business. He's better than you at finessing a deal. He's better than you at being honest instead of being passive-aggressive, lying and smiling on TV and taking billions of dollars from pharmacy industries and the military-industrial complex and Saudi Arabia and bin Laden and whoever's got the money, let's sell them weapons. President Trump is better at every aspect of life than all of these people. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, whoever, this guy, that guy, the guys on Twitter that no one pays attention to because they're so boring and so fake and so lame and such little rat-faced gremlins. What aspect of life do you think you're better at President Trump than? Because I would love to sit and have a debate with one of these people. And of course, you know, even though I'm getting 92 million video views a year, which I'm not saying it to brag, I'm just saying it as my own manager, statistically, you would think that somebody would want that type of exposure. There's like million likes pages of like people who've been on TV shows and they can't even reach 1/50th of the people I reach. Once again, not bragging, I'm just saying as a marketing person, it's true. But no one wants to debate me. No progressives want to debate me. No Democrats want to debate me. No Republicans want to debate me. Ben Shapiro doesn't want to debate me. I mean, he's a little bit bigger than me, but clearly, you know, he would lose, so of course he doesn't want to do that. But what I'm saying is, none of these people want to have that conversation with me because I will embarrass them by breaking down with proof, with evidence, with reality, that President Trump is in every way, shape, and form better than them. Do I think President Trump's the greatest thing ever? Am I sitting here to be? No, I don't think he's like the perfect person. Nobody's the perfect person. I don't think anybody's perfect. I enjoy the entertainment value of his presidency. And if I have to choose between mentally unfit people who made up a big Russia conspiracy because they're so pathetic, they don't know how to win an election that they rigged themselves, and President Trump, who's not only better at every aspect of politics than them, but he's a lot funnier. I mean, I obviously side with President Trump. And it's not even like, it's like one-sided or the other, because then people will hit me up and be like, oh my God, Anomaly, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? First of all, why don't you do that? I would love, you can make your own page. If you have a good video, I'll post it, I'll share it. So why don't you do what you want to do? The reason I don't do it is because I like things to be fair. I'm the type of person that when I'm playing basketball, when I'm playing a pickup basketball game, and the ball goes out on me, I admit that. I say, the ball's out on me, it's your ball. I find very few people as honest as me when I play sports like that. They say, oh, it's out on me, it's out on... That's the type of person I am. I like it to be fair. I don't want to win a rigged game. It's not fun for me if I cheat, and I lie to myself, and I lie to everybody else. That's not fun for me. I want to win. You could foul me a million times. I never call fouls. People slap me in the face. I won't even call a foul. I'll just be like, I'll still score. That's the type of player I am. But bringing that metaphor to life, I want it to be a fair and honest, world and country. And you have 90+% of the media just spewing off ridiculous inaccuracies about the president, spewing out all this mentally unfit garbage. That's going to be my new thing. I'm going to call them mentally unfit for the rest of the year. If they want to play the game that they think Trump's mentally unfit, they're going to go down as the mentally unfit ones, because with everything that they've tried, it backfires on them. And they're like, oh, wait, remember when they called Trump fake news? You might not remember that, because when you think of fake news now, you think of CNN, you think of New York Times, you think of Washington Post, you think of NBC, you think of fake news. When I say fake news, you think of fake news. But it was originally a diss from them trying to say Trump was fake news. But no one knows that anymore because everything they do backfires on them. But the reason I say these things, the reason I do what I do, I don't really care about a lot of people. I don't have that much invested. I'm not a big shill of sorts. But when 90% of the media, which is backed by communities, intelligence agencies, and politicians like Hillary Clinton, who have done the most unspeakable, disgusting things that never get media attention for the last 35 years. They rig the whole election. They lie about everything. They cheat everybody out. They do everything in their power to keep their disgusting power structure going. They lose. They lie about Russia for a year. They make up pretty much every single thing every day. The news is just one big lie, and people buy into it because they don't like Trump. These people do not get to decide who is mentally unfit and who is not mentally unfit. So I'll make 20 posts a day if I have to put these cowards in their place because they're the mentally unfit ones. I would never talk about Trump again, or I would do journalism. Maybe I'd do deep diving journalism about the things he's doing terribly wrong, which aren't that many. Unemployment is at its lowest record. The stock market's at its highest record. Tax cuts are going on. Government is getting smaller. People hate on the president, and I'm like, he's making government smaller, right? You think government's corrupt, right? Everyone's like, yeah, big government's terrible. And I'm like, he's cutting regulations. He's taking away power from big government. They're like, really? I never heard that on the news. I know, of course you didn't, because they lie to you. So that's why I do what I do. If it seems lopsided that I'm supporting President Trump so much, it's because it is lopsided that I am, because it's 91 to like 95% of the media clamping down on him. And it's not like they're clamping down on him with these bombshell stories of like, oh, they're lying every single day. They lie for 2 weeks. Their story disappears. And then they make up a new story. And then that story, and people follow it like it's a stupid Netflix series. It's not a Netflix series. It's the United States of America. And the script you're reading is being written by propagandists, by mentally unfit lunatics, and for the most part, probably criminals who know now that it's January 2018 has been deemed Human Trafficking Awareness Month. A lot of them are probably crapping in their pants because a lot of these crimes that President Trump is being so bold to uncover, a lot of them have a lot of stake in these crimes, and we will see that in the future. I don't even talk about it that much because it's not my place to talk about. You will see in due time. Just like I knew they were going to do this for a year now, because I don't listen to fake news. I listen to everybody, and I can tell who's telling the truth and who's not, and then I let it play out. So, once again, be on the lookout. Now that the Russia investigation failed, I'm sorry, I'm very sick, but I'm still healthier than I could be. Now that the Russia investigation failed, their media manipulation failed, their censorship failed, everything that they've ever done in their life has failed. They're complete losers in every sense of the word. I don't mean to be a bully, like say, oh, you're a loser. Not in that sense. I'm just saying like they're losers. Like, the Browns, for instance, like they lost a lot of games in football this year, so they're losers. Not the players. I like the Browns. I'm not a Brown hater, but these people are losers. They're chronic. They lose at everything they do, and they can't fathom what it's like to be like an intelligent, creative winner. And I understand it's hard for them to like get the flavor and the pizzazz of President Trump or someone like me, but we get it. You're not a winner, but you don't get to decide who's mentally unfit. It's like a guy, a guy in a suit who sits 9 to 5 and his whole life all he did was take money from pharmacy industry and take money from the military industrial complex and work with corrupt people, corrupt politicians, and then someone comes along like, Leonardo da Vinci, and he like writes the blueprint for the airplane, and then this guy's like, he's mentally unfit. Leonardo da Vinci's mentally unfit because he's got energy, and he's funny, and he's better at Twitter than I am, and he's better at politics than I am, and he makes jokes, and like he actually does things, and it's like, yeah, no, he's just better than you. It's not. I mean, I maybe you should like watch President Trump tutorials and learn how to be a better person, because it's not that he's mentally unfit, it's that he's mentally 20 moves past you in 4-dimensional chess, and you're still playing Connect 4 like a 4-year-old, and then you wonder why nothing in your life goes the way you thought it was going to go. It's because you're wrong. It's because you're not smart. It's because you're not good at politics. It's because you're not a good businessman. It's because you're not good at making deals. It's because you're not good at Twitter. You don't understand the 21st century. You don't understand America. You don't understand Americans, and you're so out of touch that you should take a month off instead of hating on the president thinking he's mentally unfit, look in the mirror and you might find a revelation. You suck. It's you. It's been you the whole time. You're not funny. You're not cool. You're not a good politician. You're not that likable. Like half these guys, they like smile and they're like, oh my God, he said grab him by the what? They're probably beating their wives and, doing all sorts of stuff. Who knows? But we get it. We know who you are. We know who President Trump is. We know who Hillary Clinton is. I don't think President Trump is the role model for a little kid or something. I don't think he's the perfect human being, but between a bunch of these rat-faced politicians who want to impeach him on the grounds of being mentally unfit and President Trump, I'm going to go to President Trump 10 times out of 10 because he's better at everything. And it's like I've said, I don't think it's because he's unbeatable. It's just they're so bad at it, and the more they talk, the more they lie, the more they cheat, the more they rig the media, the more they refuse to self-reflect within. It makes me realize, wow, these people really do suck. I mean, on election day, I was like kind of a little nervous. I'm not going to be honest. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I loved The Apprentice. It was a great show. It taught me business and entrepreneurship. But I was like, Donald Trump just won presidency. Like, I was freaked out. I was not excited. I'm sure a lot of people here were. But personally, I wasn't. I wasn't mad because I know what a treacherous witch Hillary Clinton is. But I wasn't happy. I was like, whoa. I feared the worst. I won't say feared because I'm not a sour crab apple, low energy crab like that. But I was not that. I didn't think he was going to do all these things. But after a year or 2 years, I'm like, thank God this guy won. Because these other mentally unfit morons, they're just so pathetic. I mean, and as he continues to succeed and win, he makes a crazy tweet about North Korea. And everyone freaks out. And then the next day it says, oh, South Korea and North Korea have agreed to talk for the first time in a long time. So it's like even his most crazy thing, it always has a point to it. And it always works out. Oh my God, he hates Latinos. He never said that. He's talking about building a wall. Whether you want a wall to be built or not, that's another discussion. But he didn't say all Latinos are rapists and drug dealers. But there are Mexican drug dealers and rapists who do come over the border, so he wants to build a wall. I get the logic. If you don't, you're a moron. At this app 2 years later, a year ago, I would have had a conversation with you. But if you don't get it yet, you're the mentally unfit one, not President Trump. It's you. Everything he says one thing. They say another thing that he never said because they're too big of they're the type of person, if you forget an apostrophe, they're over your shoulder like, oh, you spelled it wrong. You used the wrong word. Well, did you understand what I wrote? Because unless this is English class, which doesn't judge on intelligence and creativity, they empower low energy crabs. Sorry, I could barely talk. It doesn't matter. As long as you understand what was said, that's what's important. Twitter is not a social media of spelling right. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's a small character, say what you want, talk in slang. That's how the internet works. It's a different era. You're not better than everyone because you're writing in 12-point Times New Roman font and you have nice cursive writing. It doesn't make you a better person than me or President Trump. It means you don't get it, and you use that as like a hierarchical. Oh, I'm a smarter person than you because I do everything right by the books. Right by the books. I do what they tell me to do, and I don't like people that do what they don't tell me to do and actually are successful and smart and effective. I mean, these people do not get to dictate whether the president stays in office, because if I'm a judge, which I'm not and I never will be, to be honest, and you show me all the evidence of all the Trump haters and all the evidence of all the Russia liars and all the propagandists in the media, and you show me the evidence of President Trump, and I don't know who like it's like one of the Pepsi Coke tests. I don't know which one's which, and I look at all the evidence, I would be like, wow, these Trump haters, these journalists, these politicians who are lying, they're so mentally unfit, they should all be fired immediately. And that would be unbiased. Like, I don't even know who's who. So if you want to, once again, if you want to use all these emotions and fake news and all this BS, then yeah, let's impeach the president because, I don't know, because feelings matter more than reality and facts and things that actually happen. I I can't even understand, but I can't even talk more. My throat is killing me. I'm going to probably go to the doctor tomorrow. Maybe I'll live stream 5 times until my voice goes sore. I'll do whatever I have to do to stop these mentally unfit people from telling us who is creative, intelligent, smart, good at business, good at politics, funnier, better at social media. That's not mentally unfit. That means, revolutionary. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to put my links in the description. Dreamrare.com. There's a bunch of shirts on there. I'm about to get a new shirt. It's going to say, don't be a low energy crab. So that's not there yet, but check out Dream Rare. I got a bunch of cool high energy shirts for high energy people or medium energy people who just have good energy as opposed to crab energy. I'm going to post my donation link if you'd like to support. I appreciate it. If not, that's all good. Buy yourself a cheeseburger, or if you're vegan, don't eat a cheeseburger, and don't judge me for saying that. Go to a diner and get what you want. I'm also going to post my email list. If you would like, sign up to my email list. It's free. It's easy. It takes like 5 to 10 seconds. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. Good health for everybody. God bless the world. God bless President Trump. God bless the low-energy, crab, mentally unfit politicians and journalists who think they can impeach President Trump because they're inadequate at pretty much everything. Much love to you guys. Much blessings. God bless you. Have an amazing week, and I'll be back soon.